the king expelled Cam and her mother from the palace. As soon as they left the city, a violent storm arose.
This is a Vietnamese folktale I want to share with you. The story is titled Tam Cam.
Once upon a time, there were two half-sisters with the same father but different mothers named Tam and Cam. Tam's mother died early, and Tam's father then married Cam's mother. Tam's father loved her very dearly, but then he fell seriously ill and not long afterward passed away. Tam had to live with her stepmother, who was Cam's mother. The stepmother was a cruel woman who forced Tam to do all the housework every day, while Cam, on the contrary, was allowed to loaf around and play all day long. One day, the stepmother told the two sisters, Tam and Cam, to go to the fields to catch fish. She warned them,
"Whoever catches more fish will be rewarded."
Tam obeyed her stepmother's instructions and diligently caught fish. Before long, her basket was full, while Cam, busy playing around, still had not caught a single fish, even by late afternoon. Seeing that her sister Tam had caught many fish, Cam came up with an idea and said to Tam,
"Sister Tam? Oh, Sister Tam, your head is dirty. Dive down deep to wash it, or Mother will scold you when you get home."
Tam believed her sister's words, left her basket of fish for Cam to watch, and waded down into the pond to wash her hair. On the bank, Cam poured all of Tam's fish into her own basket and ran home ahead of her. When Tam came up to the bank, her basket was empty. Tam sat down and sobbed bitterly when suddenly, but the benevolent helper appeared and asked,
"Why are you crying?"
Tam told him everything that had happened. The helper told Tam to look in the basket to see if there were any fish left, and there was only a single bongfish, a small freshwater fish, remaining. The benevolent helper then said,
"All right, stop crying now. Take this bong fish home and put it into the well to raise it. Every day, bring it rice to eat. When you feed it, remember to call it bong bong bang bang. Come eat golden rice, silver rice at our home. Do not eat stale rice and thin porridge from other people's houses."
After saying that, the helper disappeared. Tam followed the helper's instructions and brought the bongfish home to raise it in the well. Every day at mealtime, Tam would bring rice out for the fish. Of the 2 bowls of rice, Tam ate only one and saved the other for the bongfish. Not long afterward, the bongfish grew very quickly. Seeing Tam bring rice to the well every day, the stepmother grew suspicious and ordered Cam to spy on her. Cam went back and told her mother everything. The next morning, the stepmother sent Tam to herd buffaloes in a distant field and sweetly warned her,
"My child, grazing buffaloes is forbidden in our village fields. If you herd them, go to the distant fields, not the village fields, or the villagers will seize the buffalo."
Tam obeyed and led the buffalo far away. At home, Cam and her mother went to the well and called the bongfish exactly the way Tam did every day. Hearing the voice, the fish rose to the mouth of the well, and the 2 of them caught it and slaughtered it for food. That evening, when Tam returned from herding the buffaloes, she brought rice to the well and called, but the bongfish did not come up. She only saw a red clump of blood floating. Seeing this, Tam sat down and cried bitterly. The benevolent helper appeared and asked,
"Why are you crying?"
Tam again told the helper everything. This time, the benevolent helper appeared, said,
"Your bongfish has been eaten by others. All right, stop crying now. Go home, gather the fish bones, put them into 4 jars, and bury them under the 4 legs of your bed."
Tam obeyed and went home to look for the bongfish bones, but searched everywhere and could not find them. Suddenly a chicken ran out and said,
"Cluck, cluck, cluck.
Give me a handful of unhusked rice patty, and I will scratch out the bones for you.
Tam gave the chicken a handful of unhusked rice. The chicken went into the kitchen, scratched through the ashes, and found the bone fish bones there. Tam collected them and put them into 4 jars and buried them under the 4 legs of her bed. Not long afterward, the king held a grand village festival, and everyone eagerly went to attend it. Cam and her mother prepared to go very early. Tam asked her stepmother to let her go along, but the stepmother mixed 1 measure of unhusked rice patty with 1 measure of rice and forced Tam to sit and separate them, saying that only after finishing would she be allowed to go to the festival. Tam burst into tears again. The benevolent helper appeared once more and asked,
Why are you crying?
Tam told the helper everything clearly. The helper then summoned a flock of sparrows to help Tam separate the patty from the rice. In just a moment, it was all done. But Tam had no beautiful clothes to wear to the festival, so she covered her face and cried again. The helper benevolent appeared again.
Why are you crying?
Tam sobbed.
My clothes are so ragged. How can I go to the festival?
The benevolent helper replied.
Dig up the 4 jars buried under the 4 legs of your bed.
Tam obeyed and dug them up. The first jar contained a set of splendid, beautiful clothes. The second jar held a pair of exquisitely embroidered shoes. The third jar contained a tiny horse, but strangely, when it was placed on the ground, it suddenly turned into a real horse. The last jar contained a sturdy saddle and bridle. Tam was overjoyed, quickly changed her clothes, and set off for the capital. The horse galloped swiftly and soon arrived at the capital, but unfortunately, while crossing a ford along the way, Tam accidentally dropped 1 shoe and had no time to retrieve it. At the festival, Tam wrapped the remaining shoe in a scarf and blended into the crowd. At that moment, the royal procession escorting the king passed by the muddy place where Tam had dropped her shoe. The 2 royal elephants at the head of the procession kept lowering their heads and refused to move. The king ordered the soldiers to investigate, and they found a shoe. The king picked it up and admired it, saying,
A shoe this beautiful must belong to someone very beautiful.
The king ordered all the women attending the festival to try on the shoe, and whoever fit it would be taken as his wife. Everyone eagerly came to try it on, but no one fit. Cam and her mother also tried, but failed. When it was Tam's turn, the stepmother sneered.
Even things as noble as bells and ceremonial conch chimes do not suit, let alone broken jars and shattered pots by the fence.
But contrary to her words, when Tam tried on the shoe, it fit perfectly. She then produced the other shoe she was holding, and indeed they formed a matching pair. The soldiers cheered. Seeing this, the king was overjoyed and quickly had her escorted back to the palace. From that day on, Cam and her mother were filled with hatred. On the anniversary of her father's death, Tam asked permission from the king to return home to observe her father's death anniversary. Seeing Tam return, Cam and her mother, already harboring ill will, plotted to kill her. The stepmother said to Tam,
Today is your father's death anniversary. Climb up the areca tree and pick some fruit to offer to your father.
Tam obeyed and climbed the areca tree. Below, the stepmother chopped at the base of the tree. Feeling the tree shake, Tam asked,
Auntie, what are you doing down there?
The stepmother replied,
There are too many ants at the base. I'm catching them so they will not bite you.
Tam fell into the pond and drowned. The stepmother gave Tam's clothes to Cam to wear and returned to the palace, lying to the king.
Sister Tam accidentally fell into the pond and died. Now Cam will take her place.
The king was furious, but said nothing. After Tam died, she transformed into a golden aureole and flew into the palace. One day, while Cam was washing the king's clothes, she suddenly heard singing.
Wash my husband's clothes, wash them clean. Dry my husband's clothes on poles and racks. Do not dry them on the fence, or my husband's clothes will tear.
Cam was terrified. The golden oriole sang cheerfully in the palace. Wherever the king went, the bird followed. Seeing how attached the bird was to him, the king said,
Golden Oriole, if you are my wife, come and hide in my sleeve.
The bird flew down, perched on the king's hand, and slipped into his sleeve. From that day on, the king cared only for the bird, had a golden cage made for it, and tended to it every day. Cam grew furious and went home to ask her mother's advice. The stepmother urged Cam to catch the bird and eat it, then bury its feathers in the corner of the garden. When the king learned of this, he was extremely angry. At the corner of the garden where the oriole's feathers were buried, 2 fragrant chinaberry trees grew up, casting lush shade. Seeing this, the king hung a hammock and lay there to rest. Cam again went home and told her mother, who then urged her to cut down the 2 trees and make them into a loom. One day, while weaving clothes for the king, Cam heard the loom creak and say,
Creak, clack, you took your sister's husband, sister, gouge out her eyes.
Cam was terrified and hastily ordered the loom to be burned. From the ashes grew a Thai fruit tree, a small, intensely fragrant fruit native to Vietnam, with lush green branches and leaves, but it bore only a single fruit. One day, an old woman passing by the market stopped to rest under the tree. Seeing the Thai fruit, she called out,
Thy fruit, O thy fruit, fall into Granny's bag. Let Granny smell you, for Granny will not eat you.
After she spoke, the Thai fruit fell into her bag. She took it home and placed it on her pillow, only smelling it and never eating it. Each day, when she went to the market and returned home, the meals were already prepared, and the house was clean and tidy. After several days, she grew suspicious. One day, she pretended to go to the market, but halfway there, she turned back. Standing outside the door and looking in, she saw a young woman emerge from the Thai fruit and clean the house. The old woman rushed in, tore open the Thai fruit skin, and embraced the girl. She took her as her daughter. From then on, Tam stayed at home helping the old woman with chores. The old woman opened a small tea house at home, and Tam helped her prepare betel leaves shaped like phoenix wings. Day by day, the shop became more crowded. One time, the king passed by and stopped to rest at the tea house. Seeing the betel prepared exactly as Tam used to do, he asked,
Old woman who prepares this betel so skillfully?
The old woman answered honestly,
My daughter prepares it.
The king wished to meet her daughter, so the old woman called Tam out. The king was overjoyed to recognize Tam and had her brought back to the palace. Upon returning, Tam told the king everything that had happened. The king was furious and ordered Cam and her mother brought in for punishment, but Tam, moved with compassion, begged the king to spare them. The king expelled Cam and her mother from the palace. As soon as they left the city, a violent storm arose, and Cam and her mother were struck dead by lightning in the middle of the field. From then on, the king and Tam lived happily ever after.
Thank you for watching. May your day be calm and peaceful. See you in the next calm story.